This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
But good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck! Fuck Neil Diamond!
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah! Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker!
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Welcome to the Hoppers, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jake. With me, as always, my co-host Adam.
That's right, dude was freaking thrashing so hard his phone just went whoop.
Rocked out a little too hard there, man. No wonder drummers don't carry phones in their pockets on a normal basis.
That's right. Glass breaking, cutting their shit up.
Yeah. Happy to get the episode started. Here's your beauty bra.
Comedy.
We are happy to get started with episode 90 tonight.
90.
And Adam is going to start us off, as always, with our public service announcement.
I will, but man, I'm telling you, 90. We are 10 away from the most epic episode of all times.
100.
Stay tuned. Here we go. Episode 90. Visit us at theharperguys.com. Once there, you can find our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. You can also find us everywhere podcasts are found. By the way, go to our YouTube channel right now and subscribe. That is, if we still have any videos motherfucking left. We don't know. I actually didn't check. But the one thing I do know is we'll get to that in a minute.
That's right. Censorship.
Little teaser there. Yeah, so what's been going on in Jake's world? Let's just you have anything you just need to bitch about, like something small?
Something small to bitch about?
Just bad drivers? I mean, anything lately that
No. I mean, as far as that kind of stuff goes, I haven't encountered anybody lately on a drive.
So it's just been sunshine, lollipops, and... No?
The only thing I would say is me and the wife went to dinner the other night. And, I mean, we haven't been doing a lot of actually going out to dinners.
Right.
So we get a waitress, and she's older. Now, typically that's a good sign.
Sure.
Right?
She should be well marinated in the verses of serving.
She came over, was real nice, got our drink orders and stuff, and took off. And as the night went on, she was really, really nice the whole time. But I don't know if they had her overextended or what, because it was just so slow of service. And, that drives me nuts. I mean, we were at a decent restaurant. We weren't living the fat life. You know what I mean? But it was a sit-down restaurant where you were going to tip. I mean, they had a full bar. At a place like that, you expect to get fairly decent service.
Now, did you see her waiting on a lot of different tables?
Yeah.
Or was it just you?
No, a lot of different tables. And at one point in time, I had waited a fair amount of time, and she saw me, and I gave her just the one time, and she gave me the. And proceeded to be another 7 or 8 minutes before she showed up over the table. So if you're going to be one of the waitresses that's back to work, put in the work. I mean,
Own it.
I'm not going to tell you she wasn't busy, but she wasn't exactly sweating running around in there, though, either. So,
I mean,
not that that's a big bitch. I'm just saying,
No, that's not. I mean, I hate shitty servers. And, I mean, we've all had our ones that we just loathed.
Right.
But, no, I mean, if you're going to be one of the servers out in the world right now that actually has a waitress or a
serving job,
you need to be the best, because guess what, man? It's your time to own it.
Yeah.
I dropped the kids off from school today. It's their first full week back.
Yeah.
They only have Wednesdays off. Easy for me to say, but they go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, remote. I shouldn't say off, it's remote. Then Thursday, Friday. They've been fully remote up until this point for almost a year.
Yeah.
Obviously, not including the summertime because of summer break.
Sure.
Today was Thursday. They were home yesterday. The wife took them Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
I dropped. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I take them every single time.
Okay.
But this time when I dropped them off, I made sure to say, "Own the day, make it yours." Basically, grab the day by the balls and own it.
The day is mine.
That's right. Because I want to give them as much positivity because it's not like when you and I were in school. There are some similarities, but
It's a different thing, though.
the bullying and there's always been bullying, but the social media bullying and all that, it's just so much more in your face.
Yeah.
You can't never escape it if you have any sort of device at home.
Well, you don't get out of school at 2:30 or 3 o'clock anymore, and then it stays at school until the next morning.
Right.
It stays with you all evening.
Yeah, people are laughing about it, whatever, this and that, or still
Yeah.
poking fun at you. So, yeah. So I'm just like, own the fucking day.
Yeah.
Basically just trying to pump them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, same scenario. You just have to own it.
Yeah.
Be out there, own it.
Own it. I don't disagree with that. I think it's a great way to put it. I mean, every day's a gift, like trying to not be too cheeky here, but it's like I think that there's a lot of us that are guilty of falling into a grind. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you got to keep your life moving, So
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I do have one other question for you before we get into any heavy topics.
Sweet.
One of the things that a lot of people are saying right now is that the Super Bowl this Sunday
Yeah?
with Brady against Mahomes
Yeah?
is the equivalent of Jordan versus LeBron if they had gotten to play against each other in a final. You got the old school GOAT playing against the up and comer that might someday supplant him.
I would probably say, just because of the timelines, I would probably say it's more like Kobe versus Jordan or LeBron versus Kobe.
I'm going to say neither.
I'm just saying, how can you, Jordan? There's a joke. Did you hear the joke the other day? Somebody was asking Jordan if they could play, his Bulls team could play with the.
I saw that.
If they
But
could play
you
with the
finish it
Lakers.
up. How would the Jordan Bulls do against LeBron's Lakers?
And Jordan says we'd win by 2 or 3. And they said, "Oh, why such a small margin?" He goes, "Well, most of us are in our 60s."
Yeah, I got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
It's a different game than it was back then. But the problem I have with it is this, is when you start talking about Kobe, LeBron, any of those type of guys, that are top of the food chain, all-timers,
Sure.
against Jordan, who is unquestionably a top 3 player all time. Most people consider him the best. That's a different set of arguments. To me, the difference is this. Tom Brady has played in, this is going to be his 10th Super Bowl. The second,
That's a lot.
That's not a lot. That's insane. The second most Super Bowls that anybody in the history of the league has ever played in is 6. He's got 4 more than anybody else has ever even played in. All right? To where he is most definitely the GOAT. This is what, Mahomes' 3rd season? Let's not get carried away yet.
I think we should.
And no, we should not.
Yes.
No. And
Tom Brady in his first 3 years didn't play in 2 Super Bowls.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Was it 2 in the first 4 then? I mean, it wasn't too long before they went again with Tom. It wasn't long. We can look that up if you want to. But what I'm saying is this, though.
Oh, you might be right because I think he just had taken the job from Bledsoe.
Right, and then he got hurt in the AFC Championship game. People forget, in Pittsburgh, Brady ran like a 7-yard run, takes a shot on the sidelines, goes out in the 3rd quarter in a really close game. Drew Bledsoe comes in and plays the half of his life to get him into the Super Bowl. Tom starts the Super Bowl. We all know what happens against the Rams. What I'm saying, though, is this. There have been many a player over the years in many a sport that have come in and been amazing from the jump. They come into the right team, the right circumstances, along with having great talent. I'm going to tell you what. To be putting Mahomes in an all-time great category right now is not justice to people that have played the game since its inception. No, it's just not. He's only played it for 3 years.
Listen, I'd say we have this conversation after Sunday. If they dismantle and Mahomes looks like he usually does, and they rock and roll, the Chiefs I'm talking about, and they win it, what's the word I'm looking for? Not single-handedly, but just easily.
Like handedly.
Yeah. They don't have much problem. They win by, let's say, 35-14, something like that. Just a big enough spread that I'd be like, okay, it wasn't much of a game. then I'm starting to think about it. You know, I think back to Brady. I don't know all the facts. I do know some, but that was 2001. That was the year of 9/11. That was their first championship, and a lot of people were rooting for the Patriots because the Patriots, the country kind of needed something strong like that. It was highly ironic, but I think good for the country. But I'm pretty sure there was about 4 years before they went back to another one. I don't think it was right away.
We'll have to look.
I think they had a little dip.
I don't think that they
a few
did.
years.
Well,
I think they did.
We'll have to look at their Super Bowl years. I don't think that they did.
Because a lot of people say that Patriots team wasn't all that amazing that won it. They had a lot of small pieces. They were an up-and-coming team, but I think it surprised a lot of people that they won that Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, they won that Super Bowl with defense.
Right.
And Adam Vinatieri, which they weren't supposed to be able to do against the Rams.
Right. So, regardless.
I'm just saying, Patrick Mahomes is not an all-time great yet.
Okay. Now, a year from now, let's say Pat, I'm going to call him Pat and piss off his mom. Well, his mom will never see this. But Pat wins this one, and then they're right back and they win a third. Have you changed your mind? 3 in a row? Is that change your mind at all?
No, not yet, man.
I think you have to start thinking about it.
I don't. For me, no, not yet at that point. Not an all-time great. I mean, he's phenomenal.
Most people don't even win. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, who's going to the Hall of Fame, has only won 2 Super Bowls. I say only, but still, only 2 if you're talking about Tom Brady's stuff.
Yeah. A lot of that's Tom Brady's fault, by the way.
And if you right. If you then Patrick Mahomes wins his 3rd in a row, he's already surpassed Ben Roethlisberger at 4 years in.
Yeah. So here's the other question, though. So, okay, let's say, are we in agreement that Mahomes is the best quarterback in football right now?
I mean, I think youth and talent, yes.
Okay, so if you look at the AFC, where Mahomes plays, who are the 2nd and 3rd best? Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen?
Probably.
I mean, just for names that would definitely go to the top.
Quick little spit, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen even compare to Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger?
I think
No.
that's one of those things. Time will tell.
Time will tell, but time ain't telling that right now. And that's what I'm saying is over like a 14-year period, you have 3 guys that went to every Super Bowl but 1 that Flacco went to. I mean, if you take these guys in different eras, they are each going to 10 Super Bowls. So this is where I have a problem with it because we're not comparing light competition. I mean, do you remember how good those Colts teams were for all those years, that all those Patriots teams were that good? They knocked each other out of the playoffs how many times over the years? I'm just saying Mahomes has more work to do before he's on a LeBron, Kobe type level to be challenging Jordan.
I'm just saying you shouldn't be taking so much offense towards this.
Well, I'm sorry.
You seem like this is like Tom's your uncle, and you're not to be saying Uncle Tom or nothing, but like you're defending him like he's family now.
No, I'm defending him like he's the GOAT because I was one of the last people to finally be like, all right, I concede Tom is the GOAT because I've been saying from the beginning that talent overrides everything and that the greatest quarterback of all time is Joe Montana. And I still believe that Joe Montana is right up there, probably 2nd. But to do what Brady's done with the teams that he's had, I mean, you even go back to the Super Bowls that he's lost.
Wait. The teams that he's had, he's on a pretty good fucking team.
Okay. Like, we don't have to make this a Tom Brady hour, but now, the team he's on now is easily the most offensive talent he's ever had around him.
Right.
He had Moss for what? A season and a half? Mm-hmm. He had Antonio Brown for part of a season. He had Terrell Owens for 1 season. After that, what, are we down to Troy Brown? Is Troy Brown the next best wide? Edelman? I mean, who was the other?
Probably Edelman.
Who was the other little white guy that he had? That for
Beasley?
years?
Was Beasley on there?
No, it was before Edelman.
Amendola? Come on, I got you. That's him.
No,
Amendola.
it's not Amendola.
No, it was.
No, there was another guy. I'll figure out who it was. But I'm just saying, Tom's the man. Like, he really is. I hope that he wins this one for the old guys.
I don't. I hope he gets his ass blown out. I'm tired of seeing him win. Sorry, I
hate the Chiefs.
We'll always be an underdog rooter, and not that the Chiefs are an underdog, but maybe it's because I'm an Indians fan, and I get so fucking sick of watching the Yankees win every year. So fuck you if you got to win every fucking year. I'd rather see somebody else occasionally.
No. For me,
like nothing pissed me off more when I was rooting for Seattle. They were on the 2-yard line. They decided to throw it, and they pick it off. They were right there. Give it to fucking
Lynch
and let him bust it in. Ugh. That's the kind of dumb luck Tom Brady has.
Now, you can call that dumb luck. You go back and watch that play 100 times. It's a great play by Malcolm Butler. That interception was
I'm
no
not saying
gimme.
it's not. It's a horrible offensive play call.
Right, but I'm just saying he could also easily have 2 more if Eli Manning didn't drive down the field twice where Tom didn't get the ball back in time to do anything. I mean, Tom took his team to leads in both of those games in the fourth quarter, like GOAT type shit.
Now, I'm not going to just be that guy that's hating on Tom Brady. Obviously, what he's done is phenomenal. All right, it obviously is.
And most of it in Foxborough.
You can't argue that. It is phenomenal.
Right.
But just for like extreme glory on the top of the mountain, like Christmas Vacation, like imitating Star Wars. You know what I'm talking about? That poster?
Yeah.
If they had pulled off that victory against the Giants and went undefeated, I probably would have nowhere to stand on this anywhere. Because if you take a team and run the gauntlet
in this era of free agency,
that is fucking awesome. And to get beat by a helmet catch, I mean, wasn't even that a fourth down? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was either third or fourth, but it was a ridiculous thing. But all I'm going to say is this, is whether you are a pro-Brady person or not, on Sunday when you watch the Super Bowl, enjoy the commercials and your prop bets and your Super Bowl squares and the food and all that stuff. But if you're going to pay attention to the game, enjoy watching Tom Brady in a Super Bowl one more time, because you are going to tell your kids about this. I mean, as much as people don't believe it, the generations before us still talk about seeing Magic and Michael and even people before then.
I got to stop you.
I'm just saying, you got to appreciate it.
I know where my taintedness comes from. Because him and Billy cheated a lot. And because of that reason, I cannot give him the accolades because I don't know how much of what they did cost so-and-so games.
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. Like,
listen,
I disagree with you.
Deflategate. People will say that did not have anything to do. If it didn't have anything to do with the game, why did Tom Brady bust his fucking cell phone like a freaking Neanderthal idiot, thinking that they couldn't trace what he was doing? Nothing spells out guilty other than trying to hide your tracks. It's just when I see shit like that, it's like, okay, well, I love Manny Ramirez, but he will always be tainted because he got busted for performance enhancing drugs 3 times. So I love the guy, but should he be in the Hall of Fame? I mean, how we don't know if he could have been juicing earlier.
Let's not compare taking a little bit of air out of a football to a 3-time juicer, though. Like, it's
cheating.
But a million things are cheating.
They caught the New England Patriots more than once recording practices.
Right.
That's cheating. And if you're such a high-level team, there could be a reason why you're such a high-level team. Because you're fucking taking every corner you can to win a game. I don't agree with that. Win on the field.
Well, I'm just saying. You don't have to give him the props. The reality is he's the GOAT. He's going to always be the GOAT.
It's an opinion. I don't have to call him the GOAT.
Well, you don't have to. What I'm telling you is if you...
I still think Peyton Manning's the GOAT. So there you go.
I don't think Peyton Manning's the GOAT.
He's awesome. Best quarterback of all time.
Not even close. Peyton Manning is pretty far down my list.
Yeah, well,
he's no John Elway.
That one more motherfucker I hate even worse.
He's on
Ben Roethlisberger, and yes, it has to do with how many times they beat the Browns, but I take this shit to heart.
Right? Oh, I get it. I'm just saying. I put Elway in front of me.
An orthodontist nightmare. John Elway.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so that's all I got on that. Like, we can jump into.
I would never.
I wanted to bring up the Super Bowl before we got too far down the road.
Yeah, I do. I would never regret hating John Elway or Ben Roethlisberger, and I would never regret not calling Tom Brady the GOAT. No, he could be.
Yeah. Hey, man, I feel the same way about Favre and Rodgers.
But there are some people out there regretting some stuff.
Yeah?
You want to get into this?
Lead the way, and then I'll backfill behind you.
I don't know if what I'm about to say is accurate as far as the actual hashtag, but it's fucking close enough.
There's a couple different ones that have been out there now.
So, if you're out there on social media, which most of you are, there's been something that's been trending in the last week or so.
Yeah.
And it's basically this. Hashtag regret voting for Biden.
Yes.
Yes. Like I said, it is trending. A lot of Democratic supporters are losing their minds in the first couple weeks of Biden's lies.
Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different groups. It's not even just all Democrats. What we're running into now is people. I think that a lot of people, even the people that don't like Trump and didn't ever want him in there, you go back and you look at the campaign promises that he made along the way. He did cut taxes for the middle class.
Yes.
Building the border wall, to secure some of that stuff up. He brought our economy back as strong as it's ever been. He did all the things that he said he was going to do. People are seeing very quickly that the things that Biden promised aren't happening. And it's not even that just they're not happening immediately. They're things that aren't even on the agenda to where he's even working backwards. I mean, he carried the state of New Mexico. We talked about this offline, but for those of you who don't know, New Mexico is the third largest producer of oil in the United States behind Alaska and Texas. 70% of the money that fuels their state government, their state school systems, all of that stuff, all comes from taxes from the oil industry. They are, in effect, shut down for the next 60 days.
But before that, they all backed Biden. Most of them backed Biden in the election, correct?
He carried the state, yes.
Right.
Like he won the state handily.
You said New Mexico?
Yeah.
New Mexico was backing Biden.
Yeah.
And then Biden
put this stop on to where now for the next 2 months, they're losing money left and right. Don't know if after that 60 days, if they're going to be back up and going. They're saying that if this continues and it ends up being a full hold, they might be the first state, not Illinois with their problems, not California with their problems. New Mexico might be the first state to have to declare bankruptcy because of this. This is ignorant.
because of Joe Biden.
Absolutely stupid.
So all these people that supported, and I remember a time when our corporation was in a situation, and I can actually remember when our owner came down and said, "Hey, listen," he actually told everybody on the floor, "You should vote this way." I mean, this was our owner saying, "You should vote this way if you want our corporation to prosper."
Right.
And as a peon in the factory or on the floor, whatever, you don't have to take this guy's. You can vote for whoever you want. Obviously, we're all individuals.
Yeah.
But this is a place that you work for, and if it's going to benefit you, you're probably going to think about it at least twice.
Sure.
So, I mean, here is New Mexico,
Yep.
and they obviously think that voting for Biden is going to be good. So I'm sure these bosses were like, "Hey, everybody, you should vote for Biden. He's going to help us out.
Sure.
Things are going to be really good." And then whammo.
The hotly contested state of Pennsylvania, right? That was a fight all the way to the finish, right? The Keystone Pipeline that he just shut down permanently. The union that backs that is all those workers, backed Biden. 25,000 workers. Now, did they all vote Biden? Probably not. But as a whole, the union backed it. So what's he do to thank him? He turns around, shuts down the pipeline. Because the thing that he's doing is he's trying to put the cart before the horse. If you wanted to go everything green. Okay, we've talked about the amount of money that's going to take to go green, that it's not feasible, especially on a short-term timeline. But he's canceling stuff before he's got something in place to replace it.
Yeah.
And then he made the smart-ass comment last week that for everybody that was running that pipeline, go learn how to code.
Code?
Yeah. And people are losing their minds about it. I mean, they had a guy that's a 25-year vet working for the pipelines on there, and he's like, "Dude, I don't want to do something else. This is my career."
He's turning wrenches and moving heavy equipment, and he's telling him to go learn how to do IT stuff?
Correct.
What up?
Yeah. Then you got the women's groups that are all up in arms over the gender piece of legislation that he signed with a flick of a pen, because he doesn't. I mean, I feel like in some ways, like he doesn't understand what people are putting in front of him. Like what he did, it gave equality to anybody that's transgender for the military. Great. I don't care if you're black, white, purple, boy, girl, him, her, they, there, are, whatever you are that you identify with. If you want to serve our country by being in the military, I support you.
Sure.
Amen. It needs to evolve to include everybody, because we're supposed to be an inclusive society. But what he didn't understand I don't think he greatly understood it until it came out. But what it does is it opens up a pathway to where any sport that is designed to be a league for women can now be infiltrated by men, and by law, to where if you don't let men into it, they can sue, and that's wrong. And this goes all the way into high school sports, to where if you identify as a girl, even if you haven't had anything done to make you a girl, but you're a boy, you can go in girls' sports. we've talked about this to where men and women are so different dimorphically, just the way that they're structured, the way their bone structure, their muscle structure. This isn't about equality. This is just about how people are actually built.
It's about evolution.
That men and women are not on the same athletic level at the same level. Like, you know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. Serena Williams and me, she's going to kick my ass in most everything.
But Serena Williams wouldn't win a point against Roger Federer if he didn't want her to win a point.
Right.
Like, not a single one. And that's the difference, Women's tennis is phenomenal. I've spent many an hour watching women's tennis. It's just as exciting as the men's. I love watching it.
I bet you Serena would make it interesting.
No, not against somebody like Federer.
Okay.
That's like taking the greatest WNBA player of all time and you put her against Jordan and you tell me how that shakes out in the end. It's not going to.
Okay.
You put the best woman golfer in the world. She's not going to beat Tiger.
She might now.
She's going to be 85
Tiger
yards
can barely
short.
walk.
No, dude. I'm just saying. But any of those guys. Put her against Rory. I'm just saying, like, anybody that's in their prime, Justin Spieth, it's not fair. And, like, those are the things, like, I don't blame the women's groups for being mad. There's a lot of people that are mad on their behalf. You know what I mean? Like, women deserve to be 100% equal in every way in our society. To where when you sign a piece of legislation that takes some of that away, it's not okay. So there's all kinds of different things that are going on. His immigration policies that are coming out now, I mean, it's getting bad to the point where like states are now filing individual lawsuits and making their own state laws to interfere with this.
Right. And then the $2,000 he promised everybody right off the bat. I'm going to get this to you. Now he's almost canceled it.
Yeah, the state of Georgia has been hit really, really hard with all of the closings and the restrictions and stuff like that. And many of people.
Well, it sounds like New Mexico and Pennsylvania as well.
Oh yeah, but I mean like by the actual like businesses shut down and stuff like that. Georgia has some industry down there, but they have a lot of people that survive on services. Whether it's yard services, working in restaurants, hotels, those kind of things, to where they've been greatly impacted by the whole thing. And people are mad. They're like, you said, first thing you're going to do is get us our $2,000. And there's nothing there. It's like...
He sent them their 600, but that's not quite 2,000.
Right. He didn't send them their 600. Their 600 was already sent before that. So there's a lot of people that are dealing with it. And, hey, we're only a couple weeks in. We got a long, long way to go. This administration isn't changing anytime soon. So...
Hashtag regret voting for Biden. I think it's funny. I think it's also tragic that a lot of these Democratic supporters were voting primarily against Trump and not really thinking about who they were voting for.
Right.
And I think that is a learning curve for a lot of us. You just don't go, oh my God, I'm so against this other guy. And just be so blindsided that you can't see who you're voting for and what they're going to do. I could sit here for the next 2 hours, and Jake and I could go over what Trump did for this country.
Yeah.
We'll say, oh, you forgot one big thing. Biden just deployed...
to Syria. Yeah.
A bunch of troops to Syria. Who was the... Jake asked me this question, so I'm going to ask you this question. Who was the last president, or how long ago was it since troops were deployed? Mm-hmm. And the answer is, it's simple math. 4 years ago, Obama did that. Trump, you said, are you sure? Are these facts right? He is the only standing president to never deploy troops?
To never deploy troops where there weren't currently troops in place. Yes. Or to be involved in some kind of a war.
And people just say he was just ready to... When he won the election, people thought we were going to be in a nuclear war immediately. Like, he's just going to go push the red button and start firing nukes. And here, he went to North Korea, attempted to make, maybe not peace, but...
He did a couple times.
At least a talking with the crazy man up there.
Yep.
To just say, hey...
Kim Jong?
We're not looking to fight here.
Right.
We're looking to keep everybody alive and prosper. So let's shake on that. Who knows what Biden's going to fucking do? This doesn't sound good. First 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and he's pissed off a lot of, we'll just say, 20% of his supporters or more.
Yeah, everybody talked about, Trump was going to rule with an iron hand, and he was going to be the one that was going to be a tyrant and an authoritarian figure. One executive order was what he signed on his first day in office. By the end of the first week, he was still at 1. Biden was at 39 executive orders, undoing a ton of shit. So
39?
39 executive orders on all kinds of different shit. So
undoing shit. So I'm sure we're back with trading with China on the cheap again.
Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean, It's all about China. I mean, nobody says anything about Hunter Biden still owning part of a Chinese corporation that's going to benefit from this.
I mean, this is the most non-common sense thing in our whole fair trade bullshit. Sending all of our work that should be over here in the States to China, and the tariffs on them are so low. They weren't with Trump. He jacked them up and they got all pissed off.
Yeah.
But with the standard stuff, with the Democratic tariffs, they're so low that they can ship them back and forth across the great wide open seas.
Yep.
And it's still cheaper for American companies to build shit on the ineffective level over there and bring it over.
Yep.
It is a travesty, and I can't believe that our tops do it, but they do it for one reason.
Yep.
Because they're getting paid for
Correct.
cheaper shit to be made, and it's basically sinking our company or our country, and they don't give a fuck.
Well, there's no other country in the world that taxes their own people to give a shitload of money to other people.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing. I mean, have you seen the kind of money that's in that defense bill that went through? $132,000 to some country for their transgender rights movement.
We're paying that?
Surely are. And dude, there's all kinds of this stuff running rampant through this. And I'm telling you what, the people that want your $2,000, I think we might have touched on this last show, but just to make sure that there's nobody that can say I didn't know this that watches the show or that listens to the show, they're not just going to give you $2,000. You're going to get $2,000 plus you're going to get the $15%. I mean, the $15 minimum wage that's going to go with it. And people are like, oh, that sounds great.
Hey.
$15 minimum wage, which means that you're going to get hyperinflation to where you're going to start paying $6 a gallon for all that milk. Your gas prices are already going up. So that's going to just skyrocket that industry more and more as we keep shutting more things down. Gas prices are already up 30 cents since he's been in. And we're going to be at $4 again by the summer. Just so everybody's aware, so you're not getting mad when you're traveling. The people that voted for him, at some point, they have to take responsibility. I take full responsibility for who I voted for in 2016.
Yeah,
I have no
absolutely.
problem with it. I did it again in 2020.
And I'm going to tell you what, for those gas prices, if you pay attention, when Trump was in there, it seemed like almost on every holiday they would drop. And maybe it was just merely coincidence, but I always thought, oh, wow, look at that. Gas prices drop. People are going to be traveling. You know what?
Yep.
You know, it impacts the middle class way more. Look at that. I can drive 4 hours now on $2 a gallon. Thank you very much, government.
Yep.
And I don't know if the listeners really truly understand why that was, because the United States was, after only it wasn't even that long, like 18 months, we were
Energy
100% dependent on
energy independent.
ourselves.
Yes.
We didn't need to go to Saudi Arabia or Iran or wherever to get our oil.
Right.
And now,
But that's not to say we didn't. That says that we were actually available in the world trade market for the
Sure.
first time. Because there was still plenty of oil coming over from the Middle East. But there was an oil export actually going out to where if the line got cut off and there was nothing else coming into the country, 100% sustainable, nothing needs to change.
right.
And now we're already going backwards from that.
And I brought up our former owner once earlier in this show. Now I'm going to bring him up again. That was one of his biggest things. He wanted everything in-house. And you know what? As a peon, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Why would you want to outsource and pay 3 times
No, you don't
for
want to.
shipping and bringing? Wanted everything in-house or at least across the street or something close. And I think it's genius because
Yeah.
why not?
It's what you need, man. So
And now we're going to start outsourcing this bullshit, and it's... ugh.
yeah. Another thing that a lot of people are really getting upset about is that there's still National Guard surrounding the Capitol. It's still walled off. Like nobody has an answer for this. And the lady that's handling all the press debriefings now every day, I don't know. If you want to look up, just literally type "circle back" into your Google browser, she's going to come up immediately because that's what she says all the time. She doesn't give answers on shit. Everything is, oh, we'll have to circle back on that. We'll have to circle back. I'll circle back. I think she said it like 30 times in one press debriefing a couple days ago. Like, what are we doing? Like, now you're not even giving us real information on what you're doing?
I mean, how many circle jerks has she been in?
Right. I mean,
Jesus.
it's going to keep getting worse. I mean, laughing, like, funny, not funny, but I was thinking about it the other day. It's like, do you remember, you ever seen Back to the Future 2? Mm-hmm. When he actually goes to the future?
Yeah.
And the town's all jacked, and Biff Tannen owns everything. Like, that's what we're heading for. Just a complete shitstorm of a mess. So I hope I'm wrong, but
Well-
it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. Well, the next topic is completely goes right into it's censorship.
Censorship.
And there's a lot of censorship going on right now. Most of it is that you can't talk about election fraud on social media. You will get the little blue line or whatever they do and the little red type saying, this has not been, deemed appropriate for our space or whatever like that.
Yep.
We all know that former President Trump, in the last few days of office, he couldn't say anything. He was getting censored with everything. And lo and behold, the little old podcast from Wadsworth getting censored as well. Right now, if you're watching this, who knows? This may not even make it to YouTube.
Right. Hopefully you can still listen to it.
Oh, no, you'll be able to listen to it. We're always at theharperguys.com, and the other one, thegallowspodcast.com.
Yep.
You can find us both there, both the podcasts. We will never be going away from those positions. But as far as YouTube, they are no different than Facebook or Twitter, and they are obviously getting paid serious money to shut down the opinions and thoughts and whatever's being spewed out of my mouth and Jake's mouth.
Anybody that doesn't just agree blindly with everything that's going on.
Right. If you don't agree, you're getting shut down. And
Yeah.
we got an email. I haven't paid attention, and Jake texted me and said, look at this shit. And, yeah, we got our, I don't know what episode it was.
87.
Episode 87 was removed from YouTube. So, there you go. What did I have wrote down? This is getting out of hand. They're so worried our views of the truth will spread like wildfire.
The topic that was on there that they pulled it for was voter fraud.
Yes.
We talked about it openly on the show.
And matter of fact, we have more than one episode that says voter fraud.
Right, but we talk about
Or no, it said election fraud.
election fraud, to where clearly nobody in their right mind can say that this entire election was counted completely and accurately. Our entire point of the entire thing was to bring it back, like to get our election system fixed with
Yes.
all of our current technology to where it does work going forward. For everybody that's upset about this election, it's spilled milk now. We can't go back and change anything, but we have to look at the next ones and make sure that we have a system that serves the people. And that's the infuriating part.
Because it's highly broken.
We didn't sit here and trash everything. We talked about the things that are in the news. Like, it wasn't our opinion sitting here being ridiculous about it. And that's where I'm telling you, even if you agree with everything that's gone on, the censorship is the thing that people have to start fighting back on.
The freedom of speech, people. I mean, what Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and I'm sure there's some more, are doing is suppressing our rights as Americans
Right.
to speak our minds. And I understand we're doing it on their platform. But if it's the only platform available, you have to let people express their opinions. I'm going to tell you what. Back in 2016, I was on Facebook just a tiny bit. And matter of fact, I got back on after Trump won because I wanted to actually get into a little bit of debates with people because I was like, my boy won.
Yeah.
And I got back on, and I'm going to tell you what, there was not one person being censored for saying, not my president.
Right.
I mean,
Nobody.
If-
Nobody's been censored for the last 4 years for saying anything against him,
All-
wishing him and his family dead. I mean, you remember when his brother died? How many people jumped on Twitter? Oh, they killed the wrong Trump. That's your fucking president, brah.
Yeah.
But like, that was okay.
And
Nobody took all that down.
And what will happen, what will end up happening is a decade, 2 decades from now, when the dust has settled, people will look back and be like, he was actually a pretty good president. And how did this guy do this from day one, being scrutinized for everything that he's ever done in his life,
Right.
and attempted to be impeached not once but twice, and they're going to fail a second time,
Correct.
which I said it on our previous shows. This is, to me, the equivalent of yelling rape falsely. you should be held responsible if you try to impeach a president and you fucking fail. And I don't mean prison time, but you should at least minimum lose your fucking job.
I don't disagree.
If you are in a Senate chair or a Senate seat, whatever you want to call it, or the House of Representatives, and you are pushing for this and you're on the front lines of this and you fail, you're out. There should be some sort of consequence if you just
There
can't.
are no consequences for the left. I mean, nobody's even talking about the fact that Portland and Seattle are on fire as I'm talking right now. The people in those places, the Antifa that are starting all the problems and stuff there, they want the whole fucking thing to fall. They don't want it to be, we wanted Trump to lose and now we're all happy Biden won. On Inauguration Day, they were lighting the city on fire because they're mad that Biden's in there. But nobody's talking about that now because it's the left. When the left was organizing riots on Facebook, they didn't pull all that down and suspend everybody. It's the equality and the unity and the president for all Americans. It's the lines of horse shit that you can tell me this all you want to, but the proof's in the fucking pudding.
Yes. And this rolls right into topic number 3. This is the beginning of communism. And if we do not stop this, if the people of the United States do not start some sort of revolution, it doesn't have to even be violent, just some sort of revolution where we stand up and say, we are not doing this anymore. We will all stop working for a month, and this country will crumble, and then we'll take over the Capitol. Whatever we have to do. I mean, you cannot sit here and allow this to happen to our country.
Yeah.
It is just the beginnings. When they start suppressing your voice,
Yeah.
the next thing is everybody's they're going to want everybody to be on that even playing field to where we're all making $50,000 a year or whatever that number is.
Yeah.
And we go to the stores and they all give us the same rations. I mean, is this what you guys want? I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. Whoever's in there pulling these strings right now and controlling whoever has paid off, and we know who it is, but these people that have paid off these social medias, it's all the beginning of communism. It's just the foundation. It has to start somewhere, and it has to stop immediately. It's a travesty.
It is. We're going to end up seeing the greatest country in the history of the world fold like a lawn chair if some things don't start happening.
And I'm going to tell you what. China is communistic, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know what they're doing with their social media? This is actually happening right now as we speak to the people of China.
I don't know which aspect you're talking about, so go ahead.
So, we'll say we live in China.
Yeah.
And you're a patriot through and through. Even though you may not agree with everything the government does, you still, on your social media, you do not badmouth your country. You may even say, hey, way to go, China. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You are what they want. The prototypical Chinese nationalist.
Yeah.
You are not going against the grain. Let's say I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
On my Facebook, I am condemning a lot of things the government's doing. I'm doing this and that. I'm very opinionated. And you may be opinionated too, but you don't have to say as much because you agree with a lot that's going on.
Sure.
But I'm against it all. Right now in China, they will actually, let's say we are in our, like I just described, you're pro-national. I'm a little bit against. Obviously, I still love my country. Mm-hmm. I'm a Chinaman all the way.
Yeah.
But I have some problems with what's going on.
Sure.
We go to the same job interview or the same colleges.
Yeah.
They will actually look at what I've done and been doing online, and they may put the roadblock in front of me.
Sure.
To where because you are what they are looking for and what they're more proud of, you may get that job or you may get that acceptance to that college.
Do you not think that's happening here?
I'm not saying it's not happening here.
They've been looking at your social media for years. All kinds of people that do the hiring look at everybody's social media that they can possibly look into.
Okay, right.
So guaranteed the same thing's happening here. It's just not government sponsored.
Right. Well, this is the government is sponsoring this.
Right.
They want all of their good people to be filtered to the good parts of all the nation, and then the guys and gals with the more opinionated, scratchy surfaces to be kind of corralled into the shitstorm of life.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the reason I bring this up is it's just an example. Mm-hmm. This is where we are headed. All of this, and you're right. Some of this is happening now, of course. If you're stupid enough to be, okay, we have a podcast, and yes, if I was going to change jobs and somebody wanted to come in here and listen to this, I really don't have a problem. This is who I am. I have never said anything. I mean, we are as patriotic as it gets.
Right. We don't come from a position of hate.
No, we come up from a position of common sense. Like, this has to stop, and we need more of this. It's not, I hate the government. There are some things that need to change.
Sure.
We need term limits. That's the first starter for these congressional positions. But
we'll see if that goes through.
yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Have you seen what some other countries are doing?
No.
Like, I know Ireland's one of the first ones that are on it, but there's a whole bunch of other countries that are working through litigation now for it. That what they are doing is they want unilateral free speech for everybody, to where it's not a question, everybody has it, to where they are going to stop allowing certain tech companies to have their platforms in their country because they don't meet their country guidelines for what you need to have as a social media provider.
Good.
To where the Facebooks and the Twitters are going to start losing countries.
Good.
On this. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we need some more of the big industrial countries to get on board with all this.
I'm going to tell you what, right now, I shouldn't even say this. I should not even fucking say this.
Throw it out, man.
Right now, you could start your own social media platform and boast the fact that you will allow free speech. And I'm going to tell you what, there would be a lot of people moving over.
No, there wouldn't.
Yes, there would.
No, there wouldn't. Because what would happen? I'll tell you exactly what would happen. Exactly what happened to Parler. Oh, all you Republicans want to leave Twitter and Facebook and you want to go over to Parler? Well, all of a sudden, on Apple and Android, they don't meet their criteria to be available in their app stores, so look what you can't get on your phone anymore. Or your Mac or anything else. That's happening. That's real.
Well,
Parler's still the platform.
That's why Apple sucks, because they're not shutting that down from Android, because Android's wide open.
What do you mean?
You can get anything on Android.
Android just did the same thing to Parler. Same thing.
Well, then...
They're censoring just like everybody else is.
Well, I've been wrong before.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. You know how many actual social media platforms there are out there that you've never heard of? Thousands.
Sure.
Everybody and their brother's trying to start one.
I mean, this is a great time.
But no, it's not, because you can't get in
unless you follow. Be a way.
There's not. Parler's trying to figure out what to do because they don't want to shut everybody down that likes their service, but they don't want to conform and just become Twitter Junior. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
There's got to be a way.
It's at some point you have to stop trying to take rights away from people. Just because
that's the bottom line.
Just because you don't like the way that somebody acts or the things that they say because it's different than you, it doesn't give you the ability to take that away from them. Unless they've actually committed some kind of a real crime.
There's a lot of things that make America great.
Yeah.
The first two are the right to bear arms and the freedom of speech.
Sure.
Those are heads and shoulders above the rest.
Right.
Don't do that shit.
Right.
The one of the reasons why having freedom of, or the right to bear arms is the greatest, because it whether you know it or not, or believe it or not, yes, we could be in a nuclear war by two idiots pushing buttons and it would devastate the world. But if we were to actually be invaded by foot soldiers, we would have the largest militia in the world.
Dude, this country will never, I'll say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This country cannot be taken by foot soldiers.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's impossible.
And the reason why is because, I don't know what the one in how many houses have guns, but I'm sure it's at least 2 in 5 have...
A shitload.
Yeah, or 3 out of 5 have...
There's over 500 million privately owned firearms in the United States.
Right, I'm just saying, it's a lot. So you would be stupid to foot soldier on in, because eventually neighbors and stuff are going to be shooting at you.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. But that's why the Second Amendment's there, in case the First Amendment fails.
Right.
So everybody that's trying to take your guns and silence you at the same time, I'm sorry, can't get behind that. It makes no sense. You know, knee-jerk reaction to everything. It's fucking annoying as hell. So, but yeah, the idea of communism is something that we have to go running away from, kicking and screaming. There's this idea that's out there now that there's always something to be had for free. The government will give it to you. The government will give it to you. The government will give it to you. It's like that's not the American way.
No, and I would imagine that the people on welfare, the full timers that we can't stand on the show either, get off the nation's tit and attempt to make your life and the country's life better.
Yeah.
Just because you've been doing this and fucking the nation doesn't mean that you probably root for communism, because hey, you get your share too.
Yeah.
Woohoo! No, it's no good.
But they don't want that either. Just like the whole Reddit thing. You know, the hedge fund managers freaking out because they're losing money for the first time ever. I mean, if you think about it, a hedge fund, I mean, it all sounds great, you know. Oh, man, I'd love to be in a hedge fund. Do you know what a hedge fund actually is?
I do not.
A hedge fund is a bet basically placed against companies that are not doing that well right now. That's what they're hedging their bet against these companies, and that's how they're making money. So when these companies do well, AMC, GameStop, when the people are able to drive those prices up, the hedge fund managers lose shitloads of money.
Aww.
Oh, so everybody's like, oh my God, we got to protect the hedge funds. No, we don't. There shouldn't be a fucking hedge fund anywhere. They shouldn't exist. They are siphons for taking money from good people, is all that it is.
And why is that allowed?
Right.
Because all these crooked motherfuckers in Washington are involved.
Right. The concept actually came out of originally to where you could hedge your bet on your company, you know what I mean? To where like you're employing people, you're paying taxes, the whole 9 yards. The government allowed hedge funds because they wanted people to be able to have a plan and have some course of financial recuperation in case something happens. So maybe the company doesn't go all the way under. Maybe
Right.
they do a restructuring and they keep on keeping on and they evolve into something else. But like every other piece of legislation, like boys playing against girls in sports, they've taken something that could have been good and they have to twist it into something terrible.
Yeah, and what I heard was that there was these groups that were boosting up the AMC and the what'd you say it was? The GameStop. They were boosting these stocks up on purpose, and they were even telling their friends, hey, like a few months before, you might want to get on board. And I didn't, obviously I heard about this after the fact, but
Not me, I was in on AMC just on a whim. On a whim.
So these are all getting big, and from what I've heard, it's actually legal what they've done.
100%.
Yeah, not illegal, legal.
Legal.
And the hedge fund people, like you said, are losing their fucking minds. But here's what you don't understand. They're trying to twist some laws to say that this is illegal, but it's not.
No.
But these big companies do this shit all the time.
All the time.
But it's legal for them because they're the big guys and jibba-dabba-doo. It's not. Still not saying it's illegal, but they're trying to make it appear illegal to the smaller folk that are just trying to have some fun necessarily.
Yeah.
It really and prove that numbers speak volumes.
Yeah, do some digging on finance. You'll see that this has been going on in this country for years and years and years.
Yeah, but the big guys don't like it because that's their game.
Right.
Not the little guys' game.
Right.
We don't want the little guys to make money. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up closing my Robinhood account over this whole thing. They started sending emails that were just complete bullshit, trying to explain to people why they stopped trading and stuff like that. And it's like,
I had Robinhood for a hot minute.
did you? Yeah.
Put $20 on it and was just playing around here and there. And
I made some money on it. I mean, I cashed out for way more than I put in because I did buy some AMC stock. Me and my wife had been talking about it to where we were looking at some things like AMC. You know who Manchester United is? The soccer team?
soccer team, yeah.
One of the most well-known soccer teams in the world. Well, they're in the middle of a restructuring. They were ready to declare bankruptcy. Their stock's way down, to where they're not back on the pitch yet, but they're one that I looked at like, man, their stock's as low as it's been in a long time. I'll buy $20 of that and stash it away, and if it comes back and quadruples over the next 6 months, I've made good money off of that.
Go have a steak dinner.
Right, little stuff like that, to where we weren't in it trying to steal from anybody or, you know what I mean, trying to come up with some big coup, but it's like the whole point of this app was supposed to be that the little guy can get in.
The freedom of it.
Without paying for all the trades and stuff.
Yes.
You get your little tiny piece of the pie. You can get in or get out whenever you want to. And they stopped it in its tracks.
Oh, they did stop Robinhood?
No. They stopped trading all these different companies.
Oh, the ones that everybody wanted.
Like, you couldn't sell AMC for a couple days. You couldn't sell Nokia, GameStop. I mean, it's funny, BlackBerry, the companies they picked are the downtrodden companies that weren't doing good because that's where all the hedge fund managers have their hedges placed. I'm sorry, but like those kind of things.
It's bullshit.
Get on the. You want to unite America? You get up there on your presidential podium, President Trump, President Biden, and say, you know what? Good job, little guys. You keep doing what you need to do.
He would never.
Keep fighting for your share.
Because they get backed by the big guys.
That's what I'm saying.
All
10% for the 10% for the big guy.
I mean, Trump was, I'm not saying he wasn't backed. I'm sure he was backed by some people, but he didn't need to be backed. The guy was already a billionaire. I don't care what his tax reports say. He's already a billionaire. He didn't need to be pushed from the left or pushed from the right. He was trying to make America great again. I'm fucking pretty sure he was pretty successful.
That's why they hate him.
But now you get somebody like Biden, what do I want to say? A lifer.
Yeah.
A government lifer, and he's been backed for years for this or that or that. This is what he lives for.
Been all over the place.
All right.
I don't get it.
We got to get out of the political end.
Yeah.
Last topic of the night. Let's see what we got. We got just a few minutes left. It is 56 on the clock.
All right.
The next topic I'm going to label idiot NFL fans.
There's a lot of them.
And that does not mean the people that love Tom Brady.
No, it doesn't.
What this is referring to is my folk. The Cleveland Browns fans.
And my folk, the
Yeah.
Chicago Bear fans.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. They're both talking about it. Well, I think Chicago's actually talking about maybe working something out.
Like, for real.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. If you don't know, Deshaun Watson is the NFL quarterback for the Houston Texans. He's been pretty successful. He's only about 24, 25. Young quarterback, worth all kinds of money. And unpopular to my belief, he is barking, I want out of my current situation. I don't know why any owner, obviously I know why a coach would want him because he's talented, but I don't know why any organization would want somebody like this, because what's the guarantee that if he gets traded to this team, from team A to team B, that after a year and a half he's not going to be barking saying he wants out again? I mean, I hate this. I feel like it is a privilege to be in the NFL or the MLB or the NBA. If you are on a team, you work your ass off for that team. I'm sorry. When your contract is up, then you get the luxury to pick and choose where you're at. That's how the game has always been played.
Yes.
The last few years, we've had a couple guys, Le'Veon Bell for Pittsburgh, and there's probably
Melvin Gordon for the Chargers.
Now,
Eli did it to the Chargers, remember?
Yep. Eli. Well, no, was it the Saints?
No. That was the Chargers.
When they drafted him?
Yeah, he forced the trade from them. They trade him to the Giants, and then they draft Phil Rivers. Same draft.
So it started with Eli Manning recently.
Elway did it to the Colts.
Right. Yeah, you're
did.
right. So I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
I would almost let these guys nobody hire them. They don't want to play. Let them go away.
Yeah.
But what this idiot NFL fans is based upon is we've got some Browns fans. Sounds like quite a few Browns fans that are just fawning over the idea of trading Deshaun Watson for Baker Mayfield and a whole bunch of the Texans put on paper. I saw it. What they want for Deshaun Watson, and here's what it is. They want 2 first-round picks. So obviously that would be 2021, 2022 at this point.
Yep.
They want 2 second-round picks, so 2021's second-round pick, 2022's second-round pick, and then I forget how they worded it, but defensive players that are ready to go. A couple of them, not even just one.
Sure.
They wanted 1 or 2. So what would happen if the Browns made this trade or the Bears made this trade, which the reason why, we'll get into what would happen in a second.
Calamity.
Browns fans, you have what you want. You really, really do. Deshaun Watson may be an upgrade a little bit from Baker Mayfield.
Nope.
But I don't believe it is. I really don't. You may think it is, but I do not. Also, and I guess we'll just get it right into now. So, if this trade was happening to a team, how far back is this going to set this team?
Forever.
At least a decade.
I'm going to tell you what. Huge Bear fan. Small history lesson. Jay Cutler, 2 first-round picks to the Broncos. So you get a quote-unquote franchise quarterback in, and Cutler wasn't great. He wasn't bad. Like, he was Cutler, right? They went to the playoffs several times because they had that defense already built. But, boy, they could have used those first-round picks to bring in some real talent to go with them, but they never did. They could have used that talent to draft a better offensive line, which that team could have definitely used. So, whatever. They get through that period of Jay Cutler, no championships. They trade 2 first-round picks to get Khalil Mack. I don't know if you paid attention to Chicago football recently, but 8-8 seems to be our standard at this point. We go 8-8 every single 3 years in a row. They've gone 8-8. It's like,
And this year they started off 5-1.
right? Exactly. Then they had a 6-game losing streak. But it's like every team that does this, it's not good for the team. You can't trade 3 first-round picks away, which is what the original ask was.
Right.
We had this question. One player in the history of the NFL has been traded for 3 first-round picks. That player was Herschel Walker. Those 3 players were Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. That's a dynasty right there on 3 players that you gave. Does anybody remember the great Minnesota teams from the 90s? I'll wait. It's cool. Yeah. No. Because you cripple a team with that. So like the Bears, I mean, at least Chicago has something in Mayfield to maybe bring the price down. Chicago doesn't. Chicago's...
You mean Cleveland?
That's what I said.
You said Chicago.
No. I said at least Cleveland has something in Mayfield
Right.
to bring the price down. Chicago does not. What we got? We're going to give him Foles? Because he's the only quarterback we even have under contract at this point because we didn't renew Trubisky.
Right.
So I don't want to see Chicago do that.
Yeah.
They've got some decent young players, but they need those first-round picks over the next 3 years.
Listen, if you're a true Browns fan and you actually fucking pay attention, there was a trending upwards this year.
Huge.
There was tons of question marks around Baker Mayfield. I didn't have any, but a lot of people did. Maybe it was you. And guess what? Trending upwards. The guy was just fine.
Not just fine, phenomenal
Yeah.
during the second half of the season.
I mean, there was no gripes. I mean,
But
the guy,
phenomenal.
yeah. They were trending upwards so much. The future is so bright. The next 5 years are so bright. Why would you want to trade away your future
Right.
for Deshaun Watson that you don't know if he'll pan out? You don't know in a year and a half if he'll want out of Cleveland, and then you're entirely fucked. Listen, folks, this is an education moment. Who cares about Deshaun Watson? The team is where it is right now. You've got these picks. You've got free agency. You build and add some pieces. You still may not be completely ready, but you're one step closer. Then the following year, now Baker's been in the same system for 3 seasons, and you get a few more pieces, and now you're pretty much airtight. And it gets really fucking exciting.
Yeah.
But to ruin the next 2 years of draft picks and who knows what you can afford with free agency, with paying Deshaun Watson all this money, you're just fucked. You're stupid to want... I just gotta say it. You're stupid to want Deshaun Watson for just those reasons. You
Right.
gotta take a step back.
But even as a Cleveland fan, you just went through this with Beckham. You just gave up a bunch of 2 first-round picks for Beckham.
yeah,
I mean, and we've seen how this has worked out. You're going to tell me that those 2 first-round picks and all that money wouldn't be beneficial to the Browns right now?
oh, they would.
I mean, this is where you got to get back to drafting well, like we've done the last couple years. Cleveland's finally drafting better again. You know,
Well, they've also been really executing amazingly in free agency.
right? They have, but what I'm saying is like when you get guys like Mayfield, Garrett, who's the young kid offensive lineman, Wills. I mean, cornerstone for the next 10 years, right? Like you keep getting guys like this in the draft. This is how you build a championship team. You know, when you're not just missing on Johnny Manziel and Brandon Whedon and Brady Quinn. Love you, but didn't work out in the league, bruh. So
He's making his cheddar on TV.
So anybody that wants Deshaun Watson, guess what? If you get him, congratulations. I don't want him in Chicago. I would rather see Chicago pick at the end of the first round like they have, take the best quarterback available that's going to be a rookie, you know. Hopefully keep Foles around so the kid doesn't have to start the first game right away. Get rid of some of your old defensive players. Rebuild this team to start winning here in a couple years instead of trying to use glue and matchsticks to hold this thing together, which isn't championship quality now.
Yeah, I heard after the the Texans threw out their demands, what they wanted, the next thing I saw was this would be a great fit for the Jets. Go for it, New York.
But he's already said that's the funny thing. He wants out of Houston so bad, but he said that the Jets are a place he would love to go.
Weird.
Yeah. It's like, for what? If you're going to have to trade all those first-round picks, he wants to play with the kid from Alabama, the wide receiver, because he's going to go number 2. It's like, you think they're going to get to hold on to that pick? I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's like, let's do some mental math
Yeah,
here, bro.
He's so Deshaun Watson's an idiot.
Hey, he's an idiot for this whole thing. But you know what? The funny part of this is the other quarterback that's throwing a fit and wants out.
Who's that?
Wentz.
Well, he deserves to throw a fit.
No, he doesn't. The guy sucks. The guy should be elated that Philadelphia was dumb enough to give him a $100 million contract. Now they can't get rid of him because his cap hit, if they get rid of him, is like $45 million. But he's throwing dude, you know what? Give all that money back. They will release you in free agency if you denounce all that money. And then you can go resume your career wherever you want to try it. Sorry that they drafted a kid in the second round that's better than you. Sorry that your Philadelphia team was good.
I like Wentz.
Without you. You like him because you had him in fantasy and he was okay for a little while. Dude is a turd. He's been hurt so many times. He's gun shy. He makes terrible decisions. Dude, $100 million quarterback, you shouldn't be the problem on the team if you're the $100 million quarterback. No. You should be the solution fixing everybody else's problems. When the Packers suck, I hate the Packers as much as anybody, but when the Packers aren't good, there's old Steady Eddie under fucking center right there that's making everything a little bit better in Rodgers. Like, that's a $100 million quarterback.
Sure.
So, sorry, Wentz, shut the fuck up and ride the pine or give the money back so that they'll let you go. But you can't have it both fucking ways.
Agreed.
You don't get free agency and the fucking money. That's fucking dumb.
True.
Shit makes me so fucking angry, man. Just because they're fucking children.
We might as well just talk on this. We're talking about NFL.
For a minute, yeah.
So, the biggest news.
I don't know.
Matthew Stafford.
Dude, what is that haul about? Dude,
they wanted
the Rams. Holy
wow!
How do the Rams hit on all these the Aaron Donalds, the Cooper Kupps? Like, how do they hit on these fucking guys? Like, they draft freaks, absolute beasts, and then you just start giving away first-round picks for a mid-30s quarterback. Anybody want to take a guess at how many Pro Bowls Matt Stafford has ever been to?
I'm assuming with your antics, 0.
1. He's been to less Pro Bowls than Baker Mayfield. He's been to the same number of Pro Bowls as Trent Dilfer. Like, this is your 2 first-round picks and a guy that led a team to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't think golf was all that.
I don't think golf is all that bad. You want to be honest. You watch that team play, that dude throws ropes all the time. No, I'm telling you, go back and watch some Rams game. If you're bored, sit down, watch a couple Rams games from this year. The dude can chuck a football.
Sure.
I'll take him in Chicago right now.
Well, he might be your boy.
No, he won't because now he's in Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
The best thing we got going in Chicago right now is that Kirk Cousins is still in Minnesota.
What's the sound in Detroit? Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, my God. I always look at golf and I'm like, you know, I respect him as a player. You know, they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago and I'm like, but every time I look at him, I'm just like, God, he looks like one hit, and he's just broken arms.
But he's not. He's actually a pretty big guy. I mean,
no, he's tall, but he's not big. Big as in, like, can take a hit.
He takes a lot of hits, though, when he gets up just fine. I'm just saying. 2 first-round picks plus a first-round pick quarterback for a mid-30s quarterback?
I can care less about the Rams. If they start sinking, bloop, 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 fine.
They might come out swinging.
But I have a feeling that, you know, change of scenery. And Matthew Stafford's not all that bad. He really isn't.
So Matthew Stafford is good. He's had his career wasted in a shitty town. I'm not arguing that.
That's what I'm saying. And he's, like 33? He's not that old. We got guys playing in their 40s. So if his longevity can even come close to that, let's just say 38, he's got 5 good years left, at least. I think there could be some success in it, as long as they didn't blow their future.
I'm not saying that, but there was success this year. They went to the playoffs. They beat Seattle to get in. I mean, like, they're a really good team.
Either the front office or the head coach thinks that golf is just not what they need.
I think sometimes you get teams like that have a lot of talent, but that don't quite get over the hump, that start making changes for the sake of making changes because they don't know what to fix.
Or maybe they do know what to fix. Maybe the analytics are screaming at them.
Well, we're going to find out. And the thing about it is, I don't hate Stafford. Even though he's been in my division for forever, I don't mind.
Did you hear that? Trump just said, "Fuck you, golf."
No, he didn't. He didn't say that at all.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Wait, fuck you, Brady? What?
He would
Trump,
never say that. He would never
be
say that.
nice, Donald.
An upper New Yorker like that? Come on.
Oh, I know who it is.
Oh.
I got it.
What?
I hear it clearly now.
Oh.
Fuck you, Deshaun.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on Deshaun.
I want him to go to the Jets so bad, and for them to go like 3-33 over the next 3 seasons with him under quarterback.
Wait, I got an even better one.
Yeah.
Him go to the Jets, sign like a 10-year contract.
Yeah. Something ridiculous.
That he just can't get away from. Kind of like how Wentz's situation is now.
Yeah.
And then he just can't get away with. They can't even trade him because of the money that they owe him.
Yeah.
And then they just bloop, bloop, bloop.
Hey, man.
How apropos. Oh, who else did that and went to the Jets? Le'Veon Bell. Doesn't work.
Now, I'll ask this question. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Hold on. I got it.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
So here's my brass tacks question for the day. You might not be rooting for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
You might be rooting for Patrick Mahomes.
I'm just rooting. It's like the Trump election.
But,
I'm
hold on.
rooting against Tom Brady.
Hold on. But if there was no Mahomes and no Brady,
Yeah.
they just had quarterback A and quarterback B.
Yeah.
If you look at the 2 teams that are playing, you have Le'Veon Bell suiting up for Kansas City,
Yeah.
Antonio Brown suiting up for the Bucks.
Yeah.
Which Steeler, not that you want to see either one, but which Steeler do you want to see get that ring?
Well, Le'Veon Bell doesn't have a ring, does he?
No. He does
Brown
not.
must have one.
If he does, it's only one.
Right.
I think he was a rookie for the second one. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'd have to look and see. He might not have one. If he does, it's only one. I know he wasn't there for the first one.
Well, just on basic morals, pretty sure Antonio Brown's gotten in trouble for beating women.
Has he beat women? I know he's smacked
Well,
other people in cameras
Wasn't
and
that
like
what?
he's been in all kinds
Wasn't
of
that
problems.
what he was in trouble for? And they were like, "Well, if he gets convicted on this, he's going to be out." Obviously, he did not.
Well, if that's what it was, then yeah.
So if he's smacking women, I'm rooting for Le'Veon.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Le'Veon's beaten any women up lately.
I don't think so.
At least not.
He was just 100 miles an hour with a bunch of weed, right? Wasn't that his thing?
Oh yeah, him
Hun-
and Blunt.
Yeah, him and LeGarrette Blunt getting busted outside
And
Pittsburgh.
where's that dude? He's gone now.
Yeah, he was real. I mean, but he wasn't though. He left Pittsburgh and went to New England.
But I mean, he's not-
got himself some bling bling.
But he's not in the.
No, he's not in the league right now. No. So
He made his money. He gone.
yeah, that's what I got. That was my ending brass tacks. You got anything to wrap it up?
I do. It is the outro.
Okay. Hey, we know that everybody could use a little help right now
Woo!
with your medical
Medical marijuana.
with your mental physical fitness. So if you or somebody you know really needs some help with something that's going on in your life, please call 1-800-622-4357 for the mental health hotline.
Absolutely. If you are having bad thoughts about hurting yourself or someone else, or just can't kick that substance abuse, call the number.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again real soon.
Whoop whoop! Pip pip!
Cheerio!
Ow, hoo, 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 hoo.
I'll do the jazz drum instead so nothing goes flying.
Yeah, little tippy tappy. We're gonna stick around for the whole thing. Drank my whole beer, Jake.
Down the hatch.
Peace out.